is the life we live in. Now it's time for us to turn it up. This is the life we live in. We gonna show you how to live it up.
Hi, my name's Rad. Yes, seriously, it is. That's short for Rade Sham. But on account of the fact that most people can't pronounce or remember that, everyone calls me Rad. I'm currently on level 43 of the platform game we like to call life. I'm down 2 hearts already, thanks to a brain hemorrhage and a series of strokes in my early 30s. But I'm giving it everything I've got on this run, and I won't settle for anything less than reaching that final boss screen. I was born and raised in Tasmania, a small island off the south coast of Australia. I've spent almost 3 decades traveling the world, most of that while raising my 2 daughters, who traveled with me. There were ups, there were downs, but it was the best experience. Somehow, we ended up living in Death Valley, the hottest place on earth. It was here that I met my husband. That's him on the digger. This is Nick. Everybody calls him Hollywood. That's because I used our wedding photo on his resume. Well, you know how mechanics are. They like to give him hell about it, so Hollywood stuck. Although he was born in California, from his high school onward he lived in Arkansas. He would describe himself as a redneck, definitely not Hollywood. One of the things we're passionate about is cars, RVs, trucks, bigger trucks, dune buggies, quads, jeeps. We do business with them, adventure with them, we fix them, paint them, show them, race them. We love to race them. But we're also passionate about building earth materials, conventional materials. We also like renovation. But our favorite way to spend time together is having adventures, traveling to new and exciting places. We recently found ourselves as empty nesters, so I took to watching videos from digital nomads and other travel influencers to see if we could get some inspiration. There are a few things that I noticed, however. A lot of videos seem to be focused on the destination. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Videos of 20-something-year-old Instagram perfect beach body types sipping drinks on a yacht somewhere just off the coast of some exotic island. But I'm in my mid 40s and I don't have a bikini body, and I certainly can't afford a mega yacht. And I know that's true for many people who watch these kind of videos. I felt like there needed to be something more relatable for middle aged Joe and Jane Average. Then there's the whole issue of just how did they get there? There's visas, travel requirements, which banks to use when you're overseas, flights, train tickets, scooter rentals, and cultural etiquette. On and on it goes. There's a lot that goes into travel that you don't see in many of these videos. And the biggest question of them all, where's the money coming from? Back to YouTube I went. 2 weeks of looking through influencer videos to get the answer to this question. And there were basically 3 standard recommendations. The first, teach yoga. Next up is teaching English, but it requires a degree. Some places let you get by with a certification, but there's a minimum number of hours required each week. And most importantly, you need a fast and stable internet connection. Third on the list is programming and cybersecurity. Now, this is how I personally used to travel the world, so I know about it. If you don't, there's going to be a huge learning curve to understand coding. It's a whole new language. And once you do know it, you're going to need 2 things: a solid, stable internet connection. See the last point, and a lot of time. Because it's not like in the movies where you can complete a whole hour's code in 1 minute. You're going to have to meet deadlines. And if you go away for a few days, you're in a remote area. When you get back, you are going to have to cram coding to make up those hours. I've been there, I've done that, and all I can say is there is a very big reason why I gave up coding. But what if you could use passive income for funding your adventures? That's where fintech comes in. I'll be exploring ways to use Web3, particularly cryptocurrency, as a way to generate income. I'll also be exploring NFTs and DAOs. This is what I currently do for a living, and I advise to a number of projects in the space. I'm mostly known for being a team member of a cryptocurrency project called Paraworks. I started off as a regular holder of the token, but I loved the project so much that I worked my way up to Director of Community Engagement. You can often find me in Twitter Spaces and on YouTube live streams with various channels discussing the project. Of course, money isn't everything. After giving up coding a lot of my previous travels were doing workaways, volunteering, and picking up odd jobs wherever I could, which is why we felt it was so important to add a DIY section to the channel. Because the more skills you have, the more opportunities you have. And most of the skills that you'll need when you're traveling aren't things that you can learn in a school or a training course. Often it's just by getting in, getting involved, and trying it out. It's not just about saving money, but it's about the opportunity to be involved with communities. Maybe it's just me, but I never understood traveling to some far off place only to stay in an extremely overpriced hotel, like all the others, and eating the same kind of food that I could eat where I came from. After all, we currently live in Las Vegas. We could stay home and do the same thing. We have a casino next door. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that we won't be throwing in some luxury now and then because once in a while you need a treat. But for the most part, I want to travel because I want to get down with the locals. I want to learn about their traditions, how they dance, how they rest, how they worship, their music, their housing, their trade, their work, their entertainment, their clothing, their play, their understanding of community, and how they talk story. And of course, their food. Not just what they eat, but how and why they eat the way they do. So I had identified all these different aspects of what I felt was important to travel. And I thought, since nobody else is doing it, why not just compile all of these different dynamics into one channel? Et voila, here we are. So perhaps you're watching and you're wondering how you can get started on having some adventures. Maybe for you, it's just for the weekend. Nobody says this has to be a full-time thing. Maybe you're wondering where to go. Maybe you're wondering how to get there. Maybe you're just looking for something new. That's fine. I want you to join us because we're going to have an experience together. This channel is about being interactive, and like everything else I do, it's about community. We want to learn as much from you as you do from us. There's going to be AMAs. You can ask questions. Hey, maybe we'll even have you guys decide what our adventures are going to be. We certainly want your recommendations. So keeping that in mind, let's all have some fun together and let's effing go!